Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Strange and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 3, Episode number 3, also known as The Bitchelor. Oh my goodness, where does this episode begin? We gotta get into it right away. It is the post-Thorgy elimination and Bitchelor is at a loss for words as to explain why she also would have sent home Thorgy had she have won the lip sync. And some of the queens think that the reason why she doesn't give an answer right away is actually because she is carefully calculating every single word that she says so she doesn't come across as too catty. But listen, maybe she just didn't really have a good reason and would rather have sent home Thorgy than Kennedy, and that was her reasoning. She just would have rather sent Thorgy home over Kennedy. I don't know. Apparently neither does she though. But in Thorgy's goodbye lipstick mirror writing, she drew a big giant penis, and a lot of the queens actually weren't too happy about that. They thought it was kind of rude. Some of them knew it was a joke, but Chi-Chi, Kennedy, BB, BB thought it was funny, but she just couldn't say. She just kept gesturing to a thing, which was really funny. But I think it was just funny. I don't know how serious Thorgy was being. I mean, she looked a little pissed, but it was funny. So this week, the Maxi Challenge, Ru announces, is going to be a play on The Bachelor called The Bitchelor, where the queens will have to exit the limousine and meet the Bitchelor and do an opening thing and meet them. And then the queens will go on 2-on-1 dates with the Bitchelor, who is Jeffrey Boyer-Chapman. I do not like watching The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I've never been into either of those shows. I've watched a couple if I was at someone's house who was watching it. I don't like the show. I think it's garbage. But I think that this challenge is going to be really funny because these queens are going to be campy about it and just improv and destroy the show. So I'm excited. So we're just going to get straight into the challenge. Each queen is given a character or a girl to be, from party girl to cougar to fake girl to needy girl to polyamorous duo. They covered everything. This is what I thought about each individual person as they left the limo. BB out of the car, kissing the floor, throwing the roses. I was laughing. I thought it was funny. Bitchelor, wasted, cougar, just a disaster. So perfect. Trixie looks fabulous. She is clearly channeling Paris Hilton and all of those bitchy divas and being a fake girl, and it is everything. Milk stalking Jeffrey from behind the tree with the binoculars and then right up in his face with the binoculars. It is very extra right off the bat, but it was still funny. Aja didn't know what she was doing, or maybe she thought she was doing one thing but was supposed to be doing something else. Either way, I think Aja did really well, but wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. But it still kind of worked. It's not like she was like doing somebody else's character that was assigned, because nobody was actually assigned a character like that, so it kind of helped that there was like this emotional, cryy girl who is like a baby or something. It kind of worked. Kennedy Davenport. Party girl, ghetto fabulous, giant boobs, giant butt, giant buck teeth, snaggly tooth things. Oh my gosh, I was laughing immediately. Like, the second you started hearing her voice in the limo, I started cracking up. I thought Shangela was funny when she came out of the car with Chi-Chi, but also it wasn't one of my favorites. It was actually probably one of my least favorites when they first got out of the car. I thought it was kind of nothing special. Going into the 2-on-1 dates. Starting with BB and Ben, I thought Ben outshined BB, but BB still was able to kind of hold her own. But Ben was definitely superior out of that 2-on-1 date. So funny, like rubbing the bananas and the food all over her. It was just disgustingly hilarious. Then we had Trixie and Milk. When Trixie was able to speak a word, I think she was funny. Milk was kind of annoying me because I just wanted Trixie to be able to deliver her lines. Trixie looked frustrated, which as a viewer frustrated me, that it felt like she wasn't getting to say what she needed to say. Milk, I think, was just being extra. It wasn't like she was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing. It was just extra, and not in a good way, not in like the extra-ness of like Bitchelor and Kennedy. It was like extra as in like, okay girl, we get it and calm down, but overall not awful, I guess. Aja and Kennedy's 2-on-1 date. It was like, they are both party girls in my opinion. You had like the crying girl who gets, you know, the girl that gets so drunk then she cries about everything. And then you have like Kennedy, who was like the party girl who could take 200,000 shots and like still be the life of the party. So to me it was like watching two types of party girls, and like it was funny. Kennedy obviously destroyed it, but Aja I still think didn't do that bad considering she stayed in with the character that she thought she was supposed to do, but didn't do the character she was supposed to do. Y'all get it. Then for the last 2-on-1 date, it was Chi-Chi and Shangela being the polyamorous couple who were supposed to both want Jeffrey, not competing for him against each other. I mean, it was okay. Shangela did obviously a lot better than Chi-Chi because Chi-Chi basically didn't do much or didn't say much, but then Chi-Chi at the end does the like, wanna have my babies thing in like that man voice. Clearly I can barely drop my voice, but so funny. That was amazing. If she did that the whole time, she would have been one of the top competitors in this challenge, I think. And then to end the Bitchelor scene, set, whatever the heck you want to call it, Jeffrey gives Rue an eggplant, like in The Bachelor how they give them roses, and I couldn't. It was so perfect. Good job. Good job, Drag Race. So this week's main stage runway challenge is wigs on wigs on wigs, inspired by Miss Roxy Andrews. And oh my gosh, I'm living, because Roxy's original wig reveal is one of my top highlights of all of RuPaul's Drag Race ever. So an entire runway dedicated to that is amazing. I'm not going to go through every single runway look because I am trying to keep this episode a little bit shorter than the last one was, but my favorite runway looks were definitely Aja, definitely Chi-Chi. Aja's was so cool with the whole like anime, Street Fighter, just super kawaii, like I loved it. Definitely one of my favorite runway looks of this season so far. And then Chi-Chi's was stunning. Chi-Chi looks so good. And from the preview of this episode that we got to see last week, I was already gagging over what Chi-Chi looked like. And it was amazing. Shangela coming out like corn, it was funny, but it wasn't one of my favorite looks. I really liked the gown, but I didn't love that popcorn green hair thing, which kind of killed it. Like the gown was so pretty, and then she had this like green popcorn braid crown wig thing. I don't know. And then I thought Milk's makeup was really nice, but I didn't love Milk's hair thing. Like was she trying to be like a genie or something? I'm not really sure. Just wasn't one of my favorites. So the judges declare that BB and Shangela are safe. The top 3 are Ben de la Creme again, Trixie Mattel, and Kennedy Davenport. And then the top 2 out of them who end up lip syncing are Ben de la Creme again and Kennedy Davenport. I think Trixie would have won had Milk not have gotten so much in the way of her performance, because I think Trixie still did a really good job considering how much she had to deal with Milk just being Milk, where both Ben and Kennedy, although they were playing different characters, they were kind of similar. So it would have been nice to have seen like Trixie up against one of them, just because they did kind of have a similar-ish thing going on, kind of, if you really compare what each of them did. And the bottom 3 is Milk, Aja, and Chi-Chi, and I think that it is a rightful bottom 3. I think all 3 of them are in the bottom for a reason. However, last week we had Milk crying because she was only safe, and this week Milk thought she was going to win, and I think anybody who watched it knew she definitely wasn't going to win. This is the thing, I don't think she did the absolute worst. I actually think Chi-Chi did the absolute worst, and if you look at the track record of Chi-Chi versus Milk versus Aja, Chi-Chi technically could have gone home just based on the track record, even though Chi-Chi looks stunning. But, you know, like, Milk was really upset that she was in the bottom. Okay, that's way more fair than just her being safe, but she's kind of delusional thinking that she was gonna win. And, you know, here's the thing. A couple of things I saw online, okay? They're not spoilers, but there's a lot of people, that's a loud car. They're not spoilers, but a lot of people online were kind of writing stuff like, maybe, so a lot of people attacked Milk. And that always happens whenever there's like some sort of problem that went up in the show or whatever, a lot of internet crazy people will go and attack queens. Personally, I try not to attack queens. Sometimes I might disagree with what they did or dislike what they did, but I would never tell a queen to kill themselves or quit drag. I don't care. Even the ones that I don't like, I don't say that about. I wouldn't. I can't. So there's a lot of people being like, Milk should die or Milk should quit drag. Like, that's not cool. Don't do that. Then there's a lot of people being like, maybe it was just a villain edit. And usually if somebody's portrayed to being horrible, there is some sort of editing going on. It's a TV show, people. But the fact that there were so many of the queens in the confessional being like, yeah, Milk's crazy, Milk's delusional, what are we gonna do about Milk's situation? I can't believe Milk thinks she's gonna win. Like, there was a lot of chatter between the queens and between the queen and the confessionals being like, Milk is crazy. So I don't think that it has been taken out of context as to why Milk was so upset and why Milk thought she was gonna win, but I do think it was kind of like harsh in a way. Then also I saw something online that Aja, like the night the show aired, like maybe it was at a viewing party or something, Aja started spilling a bunch of tea about that episode. I saw it on the Hey Queen's Instagram, so if you go to @HeyQueen on Instagram, you'll see from the night of the show or the next morning a clip. I think it was like 3 video clips of Aja. But basically Aja says that like not only was Milk literally delusional and acting crazy about being in the bottom and thinking she was gonna win, as soon as she was like off the stage, they could hear her like instantly start crying, and all the queens kind of like were looking at each other like, oh my gosh, or something like that. And Aja thought they were gonna show that because it was so dramatic. You know, there's stuff like little tidbits that you hear that make you think, well, maybe she was kind of being extra delusional, and like, that's not okay if you think you did that amazing. Like, it's almost like she was so self-absorbed or self-obsessed in that situation that she couldn't see what anybody else did, because other people definitely did better than her. I don't necessarily know if she should have gone home, but based on the way that she's playing the game, I can understand why somebody would want to send her home, like Kennedy. Because, for example, Milk turned around and said she would have sent Kennedy home the week prior. So the lip sync between Ben and Kennedy is to Lord's Green Light, and I love that song. Kennedy destroyed it. Kennedy did so freaking well, oh my gosh, and looked stunning while doing it. That gown was gorgeous. So you knew right away Kennedy was gonna win. Not that Ben did anything wrong, just that was Kennedy's. Kennedy killed it. I also saw a meme online, I'm sure you guys saw. It was like, in All-Stars 1, the queens competed in pairs. In All-Stars 2, the queens that won lip sync against each other. In All-Stars 3, the queen that wins lip syncs against Ben de la Creme. It was really funny because Ben's track record has been that she's won every single competition so far, but not the lip sync. She's only won 1 out of the 3 lip syncs. So Ben's track record is doing amazing. But Kennedy won and sent home Milk, and next week it's Snatch Game, and I am literally counting the moments and the seconds and the hours until Snatch Game because that is my favorite episode of the season. It's so good, and there are so many good queens on Snatch Game this year, like queens that won their season, like I think Ben de la Creme won her season. Either that or she did really well her season. Kennedy won Snatch Game. I don't know, we didn't even get to see Trixie do Snatch Game in her season, so I'm so excited to finally see Trixie do Snatch Game because the ones that she did online are so good. She does such good impressions. I don't know, I am just so excited for next week's Snatch Game. Let me know in the comments down below what you think is gonna happen. Sorry again that I had to post this a couple days after this episode. I told you guys it was my birthday on the 8th. So and that was the day this episode aired, and it was just really hard to get everything filmed and edited and ready to go. And next week on the 15th, which is the next episode, is when my band is playing a show, so it's gonna be really hard for me to film and edit and do all that night, so next week's episode's probably gonna go up a little late too, but bear with me. After that, I promise to get back on schedule. So make sure you subscribe, comment down below. I know I didn't do a shout out this episode, but I think from posting late last week's episode, I didn't really get too many comments to sort through and share with you. But yeah, comment down below and I'll see if I can throw you a shout out next episode. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Once again, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.